Hello, everybody. Before you click away, I know this probably isn't the video that you were expecting, but I still urge you to stay here with me anyway, just to check out what I have for you today. So, this video is actually a bit different from the other videos that I have on my channel for two reasons. One, because this is the first live concept video that I'm doing. I usually do other videos in relation to music video direction, and then I realized that I wanted to do more than that. So now I'm doing live performance, creative direction as well. So, this is the first video that I'm going to do of that. And it's also different from my other videos because it is a very quote unquote low effort video. And just to give you like a whole little spiel, even though I know you don't want to hear that shit, but I'm still gonna say it anyway, is I've been feeling a lot of blocks, like creative blocks, like the way people get writer's block. So I was getting frustrated with how I was trying to make my videos, and I just decided I need to put these out here. So I'm just gonna do them as plain as possible just to get it out. I know it's not the best like thing to say, if you will, not the most effort put in, but I really just want to get my ideas out here. So I know this video is going to be very plain, white background, block, black text, very plain, very simple, but I would still love for you to sit here with me and go through these ideas with me. So again, this is the first one of my live performance creative conception. This is for Diamond Boy by SZA by me, Vivian. All right, so the story concept is actually very simple, or at least I feel like it's a bit simple. So the story is essentially just as SZA says in the song, her meeting this diamond boy, or essentially being in a relationship with this diamond boy. So for the performance, it's essentially going to feature male dancers who quite literally take on the visuals of a quote unquote diamond boy. So it's like bringing it from a figurative to a literal sense. So the visuals, as you see here, are kind of like this shining bright like a diamond. So just to actually like give you a greater or a better idea of what I'm trying to get at is you can tell that this video was not scripted. Oh my god. But the first thing that I want to point out that is the main feature of this performance would be how the male dancers would go behind screens to show themselves as diamond boys. And I'll kind of explain more of that like later on in the video. But the main part of the visuals is showing the dancers whether they're actually dancing as themselves or behind these screens looking like they're made out of diamonds, showing them shining bright like again like a diamond, like, and you see these images that I have here on screen. Again, you could tell this video is not scripted, just bear with me. You see these images that I have here on screen. I really would like for the screens that would be on stage for the performance to kind of show this illumination, which again, just all the way or goes all the way back to how diamonds shine bright. I also want to mention now that all the images I use in my videos are not my original images. I source them from the internet, particularly Pinterest, and I will let you know if one image or visual is my own. And you'll probably know anyway because it's gonna look like shit. But anyway, so for the live performance, so this is the actual walkthrough of the live performance, is that the song starts out with SZA obviously singing, and in the first like verse, you kind of hear this ting sound as she's going through. So I was imagining SZA coming out on stage with these screens set up. This isn't the exact layout that I was thinking of because obviously SZA would perform on a bigger stage because she has a much bigger budget because she's a bigger artist. But I was imagining screens kind of just set up in this very like horizontal way, just kind of lined up next to each other. And the way the screens are lined up is also something that I'll address later. But as SZA comes on stage and she's singing the song, she taps the screen when you hear that ting sound. I can't put any of the original music in the video because they're gonna copyright my shit into the sun. But anyway, so you hear that ting as she's going by, and she taps the screen, and with each tap we kind of see this like spark, like this bright illumination spark, which goes back to this visual or these visuals that I was pointing out here. I would love to see, like, again, the taps come with some like sort of little glittery spark that lets you know something is coming from the screens. So as we go by, or as we keep going, in the song, when she gets to the first Diamond Boy, like the first mention of the Diamond Boy, I want her to tap the screen, and then you see a literal man made out of diamonds show up on the screen. Now, the way that the man, quote unquote, made out of diamonds would look is still up in the air for how I would want that to look. But I'll show you a visual later on in the video as to kind of what I'm thinking of, sort of. But as she gets to the first Diamond Boy, she points to the screen and we see this Diamond Boy appear. So as she's going through the song, I would want there to be choreography. I'm not a choreographer, but I low-key think I could be good at it. You know, to toot my own horn. Anyway, but I would want there obviously to be choreography as she's singing the song, as she's going through it. And like I mentioned before, I would want this performance to be with male dancers just because the song is about a diamond boy. And again, as I mentioned before, as the dancers are dancing, they go behind these screens and it looks like parts of themselves are made out of diamonds. Again, I'll show you what I mean later on. Hopefully that's making sense because low key, even as I was conceiving of this idea, I felt like I wasn't really explaining it to myself properly, which I know sounds dumb as fuck. But anyway, so I was even thinking about the arrangement of the screens. As I mentioned here, this picture is kind of just a sample of what I'm getting at. Obviously, it would be bigger screens on a bigger stage, but I was just thinking of them lined up in this like straight line. But I was also thinking about the idea of maybe the screen should be lined up in the shape of a diamond, if that would be something. But I was then also thinking, lots of thinking, barely any thoughts, definitely nothing articulate going on, but just bear with me. But I was also thinking of how that would look to the audience, and I feel like that would not translate on stage well enough to the audience. So I think if I had to come to a final decision, maybe the screen should just be set up in this straight line, but who knows? I mean, I should know. This is my fucking idea. But anyway, so yeah, that's for the main part of the live performance. And then this is the second part of the live performance is once she gets to the third chorus, which is at the very end of the song, you know, it has that okay, I know that was terrible, but I'm just trying to give you a general idea. So at the third chorus, which is literally the final part, or not the third chorus, sorry, excuse me, the third verse, which is literally the last part of the song, I would want SZA to go behind one of the screens herself, and we see her as now this diamond girl. You know, in the song, she talks about this diamond boy and how much she likes him, how much she thinks he's, I mean, like, I guess, like somebody that she wants for the, like, if I just have to put it in simple terms, somebody that she wants, somebody that she really desires. So I was thinking about how, you know, when you meet someone, or at least when you hear people talk about relationships, and especially if they're in a very good relationship, they almost talk about it in this transformative way. And I really like the thought of that SZA is dancing with these diamond boys, and then she herself is so taken with quote unquote the diamond boy in the song that she becomes a diamond girl. So I was thinking again at that third verse, we see SZA go behind one of these screens and she's now also this diamond girl. So this is the visual A that I made. Again, like I said, you'll be able to tell when it's one of my images because it's gonna look like shit. But anyway, so this is kind of what I was getting at. The multiple screens, the dancers go in between them, and then they're shown to be made out of diamonds. And then once they come out from behind the screens, it's them as regular people. So if you see here, I mentioned like these would be digital, kind of like digital LED screens. and then the dancers would be going in between this, like depending on what the choreography actually is, the dancers would be going kind of like in between the screens, behind the screens, and whenever there is a part of them that is behind the screen, or even if it's their whole body, it looks like the person is made out of diamonds, hence the diamond boy. Now, I did mention that I was gonna kind of put a visual aid for what I wanted that to look like. This is Emma Frost of X-Men, I think. um, but as you can see, like it looks like her skin is made out of diamonds. This isn't the exact visual that I was going with. I was thinking of a more like less detailed abstract kind of look. I was searching up and down for an image that truly showed what I wanted and I couldn't find anything at all, so that really sucked. But I was thinking of again a more like less detailed, more abstract image. So it looks like you kind of just get the sense that it's a person that's like shining bright to give the impression that they're made out of diamonds. So again, like I said here, if there's a dancer behind the screen, like in the first part of the performance where she points at a screen and we see this diamond boy appear, it looks like the person is shining bright, made out of diamonds. During parts of the choreography, if there's like a part of the dancer's like leg or arm that goes behind the screen, then you kind of see how it looks like it's made out of diamonds. And then once they move from out behind the screen or from behind out of the screen, do I even know English? Whoa. Once they move away from the screen, as in they're not behind it, then it's just like them as a regular person. That's kind of what I was getting at. I really hope the explanation for everything I said made sense because I'm literally just catching how I'm not articulating myself well enough here. But if you stayed to listen to my idea, to listen to all of my rambling, to take the time out of your day to watch this video, I genuinely appreciate that more than you would think, particularly because this is something that I really want to turn into a career and I'm trying to gain a foothold into getting started in this kind of thing. Like I said before, this is not how I usually like to do these videos. I like to put in a lot more effort in terms of what you actually see on the screen, in terms of the visual presentation. But this creative block is really getting on my nerves, so I just need to get this out here. So it's a very low effort presentation. Really sorry for that. But I hope the idea was still good enough that you like it, because that's obviously what you would want when you're presenting something to be consumed by an audience, is for them to like it. If you watch this video, you're cursed with my existence and hearing me ramble, tag SZA if you can even do that on YouTube. Tag SZA, bring this to SZA's attention. If you even know SZA, send this to her. um, but yeah. So again, if you really stayed to watch this whole video, I really appreciate that. Some of the ideas that I do on here, unless said otherwise, they're obviously not frame by frame fully fleshed out. If I ever get the chance to work with any of these people, I would obviously go into a lot more detail as to how these things would look. But these are just to give you like a general idea of how I want the visual presentation, the visuals for these music videos or live performances to look for some of these artists. So again, my name is Vivian. Please watch some of my other videos. I've done videos for other artists like Flo, Leon Thomas, Dochi, and many more that I have done and I also have coming up. So again, if you stay to watch this video, I really appreciate that, and please check out my other ones.